Castles are some of the most fascinating places in the world, even more so when they're said to be haunted. In this video we count down 5 haunted castles from around the world. The countryside surrounding Dalhousie Castle is some of the most peaceful, picturesque countryside anywhere in the United Kingdom. Set within acres of wooded parkland on the beautiful banks of the River Esk, it's easy to see why so many people flock to the castle each year for weddings and romantic getaways. Dating back to the 13th century, Dalhousie was once a fortress, but it's now an exclusive hotel getaway. But hidden amongst the splendour is said to be the ghost of Lady Catherine of Dalhousie, the daughter of some of the previous owners of the castle. Catherine fell in love at a young age, and her parents forbid her from seeing her boyfriend, prompting Catherine to lock herself into the top room of the castle and starve herself to death. Catherine is still seen today wandering the grounds of the castle, a figure of grey seen often around the turrets and the dungeons. Brissette Castle in France is the tallest castle in France. It's 7 stories high. Step inside the walls of the castle and into one of the historic bedrooms adorned with period furniture, and you'll be transported back in time, but you might also come across one of the castle's ghosts, Jacques de Breze's wife Charlotte and her lover. Legend has it that Charlotte started an affair with a young man, in the bedroom right next door to her husband. She was apparently very indiscreet about the affair, and would make love to the young man whilst her husband was at home, keeping them awake throughout the night with the sounds of their passion. Poor Jacques was devastated by the affair, and although no one knows for sure, it's thought that Jacques might have something to do with Charlotte and her lover's sudden disappearance. But it seems that the 2 lovers were not content with being together in death. Instead, they continued to haunt Jacques, and the sounds of their passion continued to fill the castle walls, long after their demise. Jacques eventually went mad and fled the castle, but the ghost of Charlotte and her lover are still said to linger out there. Lucien Castle is a stunning example of Austrian architecture, and although its formal name is Lucien Castle, it's also known as the Witch's Castle. It dates way back to 1191. In the 14th century, Lucien became the headquarters of the district judge, and in 1960 the witch trials began. In 1680, thousands of young women were sentenced to death. They were accused of being witches, and because they had no defence, they were tortured, tormented and killed in the chambers within the castle's dungeon. Because of the castle's gruesome past, numerous famous paranormal teams have investigated it over the years, with some surprising results. One of the women that was killed at the castle is said to have been particularly evil. She's thought to have genuinely been a witch, and she hasn't wanted to leave the castle since her gruesome death. Numerous spooky spectres thought to have been slaughtered witches have been spotted throughout the castle. Lucien is also thought to be a lair of a werewolf. Throughout the 1800s, many deer and cattle were found dead around the castle. Because of this, many residents were tried, imprisoned, and some of them killed for being werewolves. Edinburgh Castle is reputed to be one of the most haunted spots in Scotland, and Edinburgh itself has been called the most haunted city in all of Europe. On various occasions, visitors to the castle have reported a phantom piper, a headless drummer, the spirits of French prisoners from the 7 Years' War, and colonial prisoners from the American Revolutionary War. There has even been sightings of a ghost dog wandering the grounds. Many have heard the sounds of ghostly drums within Edinburgh Castle. However, few have seen the drummer. The reason for this is the drummer ghost only appears when the castle is about to be attacked, something that hasn't happened for some time. The ghost drummer was first witnessed before Cromwell's attack on the castle in 1650, and is reported to take the form of a headless boy. Who the boy was and why he haunts Edinburgh Castle is not known. Edinburgh, like most castles, has dungeons, where prisoners were often tortured and often perished. These dungeons are haunted by the ghosts of their victims. Coloured orbs are constantly photographed by visitors. One desperate prisoner hid in a dung barrow, hoping to be carried out of the castle down the Royal Mile and escape to freedom. The unfortunate man died when the barrel was emptied down the rocky slopes of the castle, sending him to his death. Dragsholm Slot Castle, Denmark. It's little wonder that this castle is haunted. Built back in the 12th century by a local bishop, many people have passed through the doors of this castle in its time, including kings, queens and noblemen. There are reportedly over 100 ghosts in residence at the castle, but 3 of them are spotted more than the rest. A Grey Lady, a White Lady and the Earl of Bothwell. The Grey Lady worked at the hotel as a maiden, and apparently when she died she couldn't bear to leave. As the story goes, she comes back to the castle every night to make sure that everything is okay. The White Lady has a more tragic story. She fell in love with one of the sons of the owners of the castle. Because she was poor and he was rich, they kept their relationship secret, but the son's father caught them, and was so furious that he ordered the servants of the castle to brick her into the wall of the castle, while she was still alive. In the 1930s, a wall of the castle was torn down and a skeleton was found inside. The White Lady is often seen walking the corridors of the castle late at night. The third ghost at the castle, the Earl of Bothwell, was captured in the cellars of the castle in the 1500s. He was kept in prison for 5 years, and it's said that during the last 5 years of his life his mind failed, and he went mad. Now he's heard riding in a horse carriage in the castle grounds. Many people at the castle have reported hearing the clatter of horses' hoofs on the ground in the middle of the night. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more countdown videos.